Welcome back to Jack of All Games Tabletop. I'm Dave Wallace, and it's time again for another board game review. Now, there's thousands and thousands of games out there, and unfortunately, even though we all wish we could, we can't all afford to have a collection of 500 games in our collection, so you gotta pick and choose. And sometimes things get set to the side for a while till you finally get a chance to discover it. In other words, it may not be new, but it's new to me. And that's why today I'm doing Set a Watch, a Todd Walsh game. There's his name. By Rock Manor Games. This was released in 2019. Now, I first heard about this game in 2022, 2 years ago at Gen Con. And for whatever reason, it didn't really grab me. I don't know, I just probably just overstimulated by everything that was happening there. But a couple months ago, I got a hold of it, and it has quickly become one of my favorite games. It's nice and transportable. I put it in my backpack every day, nice small box that I can just take along with me anywhere. And it does have one of those cool little, features where the box is actually the board itself. So let's get into it from Rock Manor Games. For 1 to 4 players, suggested ages 14 and up, and roughly a 60-minute playtime. This is Set a Watch.
The kingdom is in grave danger. Powerful enemies are conspiring to resurrect the vile and powerful unhallowed that your party has just slain. Now you, the mighty adventurers of the land, must visit these summoning locations and defeat the hordes of creatures behind this evil plot. It falls to 4 mighty adventurers, each of whom has a unique set of skills, to band together once more to vanquish this evil before the unhallowed consume the world in darkness. In Set a Watch, a cooperative game for 1 to 4 players, you must secure 9 locations to prevent the acolytes from breaking the seals holding back the evil unhallowed. Each round, your party will visit a new location and choose an adventure to rest and take strategic camp actions. The rest of the party will assume watch and confront a line of creatures attempting to breach your camp. Using your dice to do battle and activate unique class abilities, your team will need to approach each round's combat puzzle with both cunning and resolve. In an epic campaign to stay alive, defeat the arisen unhallowed, and keep the campfire burning, you must use your wits and skill to fight for the light, or all will perish to darkness.
Looks cool, right? I mean, it's a awesome fantasy setting. It's an adventure combat game. It's got card actions and dice management, and there's plenty of strategy and replayability to it. So let's go ahead and look at what's in the box.
In the core box for Set a Watch, you'll get the box, which doubles as a fold-out camp board, 6 adventurer boards, 30 adventurer ability cards, 42 creature cards, 9 unhallowed creature cards, 20 location cards, 9 6-sided dice, 9 8-sided dice, 4 rest tokens, 1 fire token, and 1 rule book.
Now, as far as aesthetics go, I always do love, like I said, the idea at least of these kind of board/box kind of setups. And I think everything on here is pretty well streamlined, as far as like the artwork. I'm a sucker for all fantasy artwork. The artwork in this is really nice, especially you get to some of the creatures and monster cards and stuff look really great. Most of this stuff is somewhat small, so I mean, like your player cards can be rather small, but yeah, the art, the theme, everything on here is fairly nice. But since we are talking aesthetics, I have to point out one bad thing that I know fans of this game as well as fans of Final Girl have a problem with, and that is this little flap on the end that just never stays laying flat. I I get the idea, it's got to wrap around here, but it seems to me like maybe it would be a good idea for companies that are making boards like this to include some little clip. It just slides on the end there and lays it flat. Because aesthetically, on the board or on your table, it just doesn't look that great having that little thing pop up like that. But that doesn't actually affect the gameplay at all, so I mean, it's still a great game. It's just, if I gotta say one thing negative about this game, it's gonna be that. So up next is ease of instructions. This is always a big one to me because I'm somebody who just, I guess my brain just travels when I'm reading complicated rule books. Obviously you saw that the box is not that big, so naturally the the rule book is not very big either. This is, I mean, it's an easy read. It's got plenty of diagrams to kind of explain things. I didn't need to watch a video on how to play afterwards. So yeah, it's very straightforward and easy to figure out with just reading the rule book. I will point out when you're playing that there are a couple of smaller rules that tend to come up that don't come across in the main rules in the book, and you might have to actually read everything, including the frequently asked questions and the glossary. Case in point, there is in the creatures deck, there is a vampire who, when revealed, steals one of your unused die. Now, I didn't really know exactly once I killed him, did I get the die back, or is the die expelled from the game? The card didn't say, the main rules didn't say. But looking in the glossary, under the word steal, I happened to find it. So I actually played a couple games just giving myself the die back before I found out that you do get it back, but it's expended. So if you come across something that you don't quite understand, make sure you look through everything. And it could be printed somewhere else. It seems like they really do cover all their bases with this. But again, yeah, just an easy oversight. It wasn't an important rule, so it was probably easy for them to not think about that till later. So, okay, so let's get into the setup and how to play.
To set up, take everything out of the box and place it down as the board. Regardless of the number of players, you'll need to choose 4 character boards from the available 6. Those characters will each get their 5 specific ability cards, as well as a set of dice matching the type of dice depicted on the character board. Lay the fire token in its starting location on the 7 spot of the campfire level. You can set the 4 camp tokens inside the campfire ring. The rule book will explain how to divide the locations deck, but 9 cards, including the final location, will go here by the campfire ring, while the rest will go in the box on the spot marked as unused locations. Next, shuffle the creature cards marked as unhallowed. Pull one to place face down on the spot marked as the Horde inside the box. Then pull 7 cards to set face up next to the camp board as the unhallowed deck. All other unhallowed cards should be set aside. Next, you'll set up the creature deck. The rule book gives specific methods for doing this. The level you play at will dictate how many summon cards will be in the deck. Once your creature deck is assembled, set the deck face down next to the camp board. Now the players should prepare the ability cards by blindly drawing 3 to place on their character boards, and setting the other 2 off to the side of their board. The 3 cards placed on the board should be laid with 2 prepared and 1 expended. If the red shield is showing, that ability is expended. These also indicate a wound, so each character starts the game with 1 wound. Now you're ready to play. Turn over the top card from the location deck and set it on the spot to the right of the deck. The top left corner of the card will show the change in level of your campfire, but for the first round, you can skip this. The number in the top right corner will show how many creatures will be attacking you this round. Pull that number of cards from the creature deck and lay them face down in a row. The number of your campfire level will show you how many creatures in the row are currently visible. So the starting round, you can see the first 2 creatures in the line. Turn those 2 cards over. Now, all the characters will roll their dice. Set your results beside your board and decide who will take the camp action this turn. That character can take a camp token from the center ring and begin taking the camp actions. The other players will then begin, as a team, allocating their dice between straight hits and card abilities against the monsters that they can see, unless a specific ability allows otherwise. Let's break this down further. First, the creatures. Note the text box at the bottom of the card. Some creatures have actions that occur as soon as that card is revealed. Others may have an ability that activates it if they reach the first position, so you'll want to kill them with ranged weapons before they get there if possible. Some creatures will have effects for as long as they are in play. The top right corner of the card shows the creature's hit points. The number in the left-hand corner shows the damage the creature will do to your team if it survives the round. Now let's discuss the character's actions, starting with the camp actions. The character at camp takes a camp token and places it on their board with the ×1 side face up, indicating that you've been to camp. Each character will take 2 turns at camp throughout the game. On that character's second turn, they'll flip the token over to its ×2 side. Once you've taken your second camp turn, your character cannot take any more camp turns. On the final round of the game, no one will stay at camp. The character at camp will use their dice for a variety of possible actions. The chop firewood action can be a big one, raising your fire level and making sure your fellow fighters can see what's coming at them. Scout ahead will allow you to see what creatures are coming next. If you have an exact 6, you can use that to heal yourself or another player, flipping an expended ability back to available. The equip action allows you to switch one of your ability cards. However, if you are trading out one of your expended cards, the new card must also be expended. With a 4+, you can use the check map action. This allows you to check the top location card as well as the top card from the unused locations deck and possibly swap them, making your next round much easier. Then there are the rune actions. On the back of the location cards, you will see 3 squares. These are the rune actions available, but only if you roll doubles or triples. Place your 2 equally rolled dice on 2 of the runes: Vanquish, Bolster, or Seal. These are very powerful. Vanquish allows you to pull one creature out of the Horde section in the box and remove it from the game. Since monsters in the Horde get added to the line in the final round, the more you get rid of, the better. Bolster allows for characters who are about to be in a fight to reroll any of their dice in hopes of a higher roll. Seal allows you to take one unhallowed creature out of the graveyard, the discard deck formed from the creatures that you kill, and place it at the bottom of the unhallowed deck, making it much less likely for you to confront again. Each character also has a special ability listed at the bottom of their character boards. You can always place one of your dice here and activate this ability. Now for the characters in the watch. When deciding how to allocate your dice, one option is a simple direct attack, in which one of your dice rolls are placed in this area on the board, and those points go against the creature's hit points. Multiple characters can share in direct attacks. You can place the dice on the creature card to remind you which creature the dice are being used against. You can also use your dice to activate your card abilities. This is a great way to make use of those low rolls. You place your die on that card to remind you that that ability has been used this round. You can only use an ability once, unless you're willing to gamble. An ability card can also be used by turning the card over to the expended side, allowing you to use an ability twice, or continue action after your dice have already been used. But it also gives you another wound, and that ability cannot be used again until it has been healed. Some cards have a passive ability that do not require dice to use, but the amount of use works the same as others. You can use it once and turn the card to the side, or you can flip it over and expend it. Characters on Watch do not need to go in a specific order, but rather work as a team, deciding where their hits will go. When a creature is killed, it is discarded face up into a new stack known as the graveyard. Sometimes a creature may be pulled back out of the graveyard due to an action of a card in play. Once a creature is sent to the graveyard, the creatures behind move forward and a new creature in line is revealed. If a summon card is revealed, it causes one character to exhaust an ability card, and the summon card gets replaced in line with a card from the Unhallowed deck. The Unhallowed creatures tend to be extra nasty and preferably avoided, but once an Unhallowed is in your line, killing it sends it to the graveyard. When the creature deck is empty, it gets renewed by shuffling the graveyard and putting it back as the creature deck, so any Unhallowed are now part of that deck. This is where the seal action on the runes comes in handy. Once you've cleared the line, or expended all possible actions, the round is over. If there are creatures left in the line, the damage amount caused by those creatures must be paid by characters exhausting cards equal to the amount of damage. To make things worse, those creatures get added to the horde inside the box. The next round begins as the first did. A new location card is turned over, the fire level is adjusted accordingly, and a new line of creatures are laid out. All characters roll their dice and pick another character to tend to the camp. In the final round, there is no camp action. The 4 characters all face the line of attacking creatures, as well as the creatures of the horde placed at the end of the line. Prepare for the fight of your life.
So as far as cost and availability for this game, it seems to run between $30 and $40 for this core box. If you go on Rock Manor's website, and I think on their Facebook shop, they have currently have a little bit of a sale. So yeah, you can get it for like $30. Amazon, it's going to list for about $40. Now, as far as availability goes, obviously, like I said, you can get it on Amazon. You can get it on their website. On occasion, you can actually see this in a Barnes & Nobles. I've seen it there before. So naturally, you're going to find it definitely in some of your game stores. So availability, definitely good. As far as the value, $30 to $40, for me, I think it's a great value because I play it all the time. So if you're in this kind of game, then yeah, absolutely. $30, definitely worth the money. So as far as expansions go, there are a couple of other Set a Watch standalone games. There are different versions of this. I believe it's Swords of the Coin and Forsaken Isles are 2 other ones. And then there is an expansion that turns these all into a campaign game called Doomed Run. I actually would love to get my hands on all of them, so I'll be working on that soon. There's other games that are set in this world that Set a Watch is set in, like Merchants of Magic, which is a roll and write game. There's even some interesting stuff you can get, like a nice cloth mat for your line to lay out, rather than just kind of spreading and sliding all over the table. So a lot of cool stuff that you can get your hands on to go with this game. So you can check those out on the website. So as my final thoughts, like I said, I definitely enjoy playing this game. I love the fact that it's something that really has quite a bit in the box and even can take up a decent amount of table space, but is easy to carry with me. Again, I like the idea of the board in the box, just, that flap. That's a problem. But it's not a big problem. It doesn't stop me from playing the game. That is something that I see a lot of people complain about with games like Final Girl. So if it's a big problem for you, then it might be on this too. But honestly, I really think it's worth it. It's a lot of fun. I'm definitely going to have to get all of the other Set a Watch games now that I'm coming out of my business slow season. It's time for me to start stocking up on stuff. So yeah, I think I'm definitely going to add on to that and seeing what those other games are like. So if you're interested in these kind of games, if you're interested in even just like battling the line, like something simple like Dice Conquest, you definitely would like this. It's just a little bit more complex. Not much though. Definitely easy to figure out. I enjoy it. Check it out. Now, I'd like to know if you are interested in this game, or if you have it, and if you have the expansions and other versions, before I go shopping for them, I'd like to know, is there a big difference? Is there one that you like better than others? Let me know in the comments. I definitely want to hear about it. So yeah, that's going to do it for now. So thanks again for watching, and see you next time.
Hey gamers, thanks again for watching. I really do appreciate all the support. It's one of the things I know that I can count on with the gaming community at large. This is of course to the point where I gotta ask you to like it, hit that subscribe button, and maybe share this with a friend. If you are a game designer, or maybe starting your own gaming company, and you want to do a little bit of cross promotion, maybe you got a prototype that you want me to check out and talk about on the show, definitely let me know. And of course, for all questions, suggestions, and corrections, there's all kinds of ways to get a hold of me. Probably the easiest one is just comment below. You can also send me an email at jackofallgamestt@gmail.com. The T stands for tabletop. And if you'd like to take a look at my commissioned miniature paint jobs, or even some of the other stuff in my life like photography or tattooing, which is what I do for my day job, go check it out on Instagram at Art of Wallace. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next episode.